Thank you for joining me for Your Dad Academy. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so please like and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about conduction, convection, and radiation, so let's check it out. This is one of my favorite graphics to talk about in this situation. So it's talking about the mechanisms of heat transfer. So conduction occurs when the energy is passed through the material very easily. Metal is a very good conductor, so pots are made usually of metal, but the handle, as you see, is a bad conductor or an insulator, which is plastic. Convection is when a current is created by the movement of the atoms, and then radiation is when the energy escapes from that material, that's a metal coil there. The energy escapes as either heat or light that's radiating away from the coil. So we're going to look at some other stuff to see that happening in my kitchen, and we're going to talk about conductors and insulators again also as a review. So I'm breaking out my energy stick again. I love this thing. You can check out the link in the description to get one for yourself. Let's get started. My favorite tool to use is this energy stick. When you touch both of the sides, it lights up. And so we're going to demonstrate rubber band, not a good conductor, it's an insulator. Plastic, again, is not a good conductor, that's an insulator. And wood, also an insulator, bad conductor. But the carbon graphite lead, that actually right there is a semiconductor. Wood or cork, not a good conductor. It doesn't light up till I touch my daughter's finger over there. Copper penny, that's a very good conductor. That's why we use copper in wiring. But thread or cloth or fabric, not a good conductor. But watch this. When you put it in water, water's not the best conductor. It's a poor conductor, but it does work. So when we touch this string right here, this thread, it does not conduct the electricity, but when I wet it, the electricity travels through the water. The perfect little tool in your kitchen to show the examples of conduction and radiation is this toaster here. So the outside part of the toaster is metal, but the sides are plastic. The plastic, again, is an insulator, so you don't burn yourself touching it. But inside there, those coils act as little resistors, and they slow the flow of the electrons, and so they heat up and they light up. The light and the heat are examples of radiation. And the metal itself on the sides can actually get pretty hot. That would be an example of conduction. So let's go over to the stove and let's see the coils heat up in the stove here, and that is also an example of radiation. So we've talked about conduction and radiation, but now we need to talk a little bit about convection. So I throw a little pasta in this water here on the stove, and if you look really closely, you can see little heat waves rising in the water. That's creating a current, a convection current. So I'm going to try to put some other materials and see if we can't increase the movement of those waves. So we're going to put in a little syrup, all right, and as the syrup sinks down to the bottom, it's more dense and it sinks. It reaches the bottom, heats up, and you see the waves rising up. You can kind of see the syrup rising up in the hot water. Again, that is a convection current. Still, it's pretty tough to see the syrup, so we're going to use some red crystal light. I didn't have food coloring, so we squirt it in there, and watch how quickly the red just starts to diffuse and spread out everywhere. It's following that heat current rising up. The hot water rises, and the cooler water at the top from the air falls down, and it creates a current in a circular motion like that. Don't try to do this on your own. I started to try to stir just a little bit to get the pasta going, and a quick explosion ended the fun here, and I had to do a major cleanup. So please be careful, don't try this at home. Try this instead. I'll put the link in the description so you can check it out. So this is much safer. You put some food coloring at the bottom of the plastic pan, and then you put a hot water coffee mug underneath the middle. And so a convection current is created where the hot water is heated at the very bottom of the pan, and it rises and it carries the food coloring up to the side. So as it cools, it starts to sink again. Hot water rises, the cool water sinks down to the bottom, creating that convection current. Super cool. Try it out. After about an hour of cleanup, we finally got all the glass cleaned up off the floor. I hope you liked this quick review of conduction, convection, and radiation. And again, I hope that you will subscribe to the channel so we can do more awesome science videos for you guys. So please like and subscribe, and thanks again for joining me for Your Dad Academy. Remember, keep science awesome.